Watch where you're walking.
Pardon?
You almost stepped on a gooseberry. Only one of them has delicious fruits to grace the green earth.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't notice. Would you like me to pass it to you?
Oh, no, I'm not hungry right now.
For later then?
No.
Then why does it matter if I step on it?
The fact that something is or is not going to be eaten is much less important than how it tastes. Gooseberries are delicious, and as a rule shouldn't be stepped on, regardless of whether they're going to be eaten or not.
But the only value in food is the nourishment it gives my body when I eat it.
That's not the first time I've come across that attitude. But look around you. What do you see?
I see a garden.
The garden's so big you can't miss it. Anyone can see the garden. It's the things in the garden that matter.
Why do they matter?
Because there's so many of them.
What do you do with these things?
I see them, of course.
Oh, is that all?
That all? Is that all? You really are quite the novice, aren't you?
Well, I'm just trying to understand.
Seeing is just the beginning. Once you start, you won't want to stop. Next comes smell, scents and aromas carried by the breeze. Now next is touch. Hold the ripe fruit in your hand. In an impulse, you lift it to your mouth, and then the sweet sound. And bite like that. I feel the juices. Oh, as the taste explodes from the top. A fitting crescendo to this symphony of the five senses.
So, eating brings you pleasure?
And why not? Am I unworthy, undeserving? Does my appreciation for the finer things exclude me from experiencing them? That would be a tragedy.
Well, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. What you say is true. We have five senses. To ignore them would be like pretending we were not alive.
My point exactly. Might as well give a bird wings and tell it not to fly.
Just because a bird has wings doesn't mean it should spend its whole life flying.
Now that's absurd. Bird's wings would tire, it would fall from the sky.
Don't you think it's the same with the five senses?
Not at all. Your analogy is flawed.
How so?
None of the five senses has wings. A preposterous idea.
Don't you think it's one worth considering?
I wouldn't waste my breath. Time spent considering what might be is a waste of time that I can spend experiencing the things that are. A waste of time and a distraction from all the pretty things.
Is that all this garden is to you?
I should think that would be enough.
But what do you do with the things that are?
I experience them, of course.
But where does that lead?
Where does that lead? Where does that lead? Well, everything is next to something else. And when I tire of a thing, I simply move on to the thing next to it.
There are so many things. How do you remember them all?
That's the easiest part of all. I don't.
You don't remember them?
No. The time spent remembering what was is a waste of time that I can spend experiencing what is. Excuse me. When we first met, I thought you were going to be very interesting, but I'm becoming terribly bored with you.
Oh, was it something I said?
Oh no, I get bored with everyone eventually.
How does that make you feel?
Oh, do excuse me, I just spotted something very interesting over there.
Oh, well, goodbye then.